Okay, my next honoree is a native of Colombia. Maria Pacheco has been teaching Spanish at the Mohonasen School District for more than 30 years. Let's give her a round of applause, everybody. Welcome, Maria. She's so very active in the school district. She became the first Latina president of the Mohonasen Teachers Association. She's also serving her second term as a director for the New York State United Teachers. She's a tireless advocate for public education. I know because I've seen her in our community. I've seen her at the state capitol. She has led a number of community advocacy efforts. We're going to talk about the Sheridan incineration plant that you stood with your neighbors and students against that to be able to actually shut that down. And she helped organize a relief effort for Puerto Rico that sent more than 25 suitcases full of goods and supplies after the devastation of Hurricane Maria. And she's also coordinates a student travel and exchange program to help bring Capital Region families and students from Spain together. And we're going to talk about that. Welcome, Maria.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's an honor to be here with you, and I want to say also thank you on behalf of NYSET, my union, for you being a champion for our students.
Well, I'm very pleased to stand with you on public education, and I know we have seen you as a fierce advocate for funding for public education and a number of other issues that are affecting all of our children that are in school. So thank you for that. You came to New York at the age of 15. And we share something in common. I couldn't speak English till I was in first grade. My parents were both immigrants as well. And you came here at the age of 15, and you had to learn a lot. But you caught up. You went above and beyond, and you earned a PhD. And tell us about the challenges that you faced.
Well, almost a PhD.
You tell us about the challenges that you faced.
As a youngster coming into this country for the first time, I went to Peekskill High School in Westchester County, and it was very challenging because I only knew how to say hello. So I was immediately placed in a bilingual program. At that time at Peekskill, they had a bilingual program. So I had a bilingual teacher who was teaching me just first grade, kindergarten stuff in English, but I was a good student in Colombia in honors classes, and so I was a good reader, and so I will read the dictionary every night, trying to catch up and learn as many words as I could because I wanted to impress my teacher when I went back. And so the reading and the writing was very easy for me right away, but the speaking that came later, and like the listening would develop right away. But it was mainly the speaking, and I still have this accent because of that. But it's become better, and every day I learn something new, in terms of words and how to pronounce them, because that's what we do.
And you went to a school that I went to, SUNY Albany, which was a school I went to as well. Tell us about, and this really shows the power of public education. Tell us about why it's so important that we continue to strengthen our public education system. Sharing your story, what it's meant to you.
Yes.
And tell us about how that inspires you to do what you do today.
Being a native from Colombia and just 2 years in the country, and I was immediately in college. So I was accepted at SUNY Binghamton through the Equal Opportunity Program at the time. So my family could not afford for me to go to school and pay for it. So, through loans and grants through the EOP program, I was able to attend SUNY Binghamton. And I'm very grateful for that program. Actually, in October, we're celebrating 50 years of that program. So again, public education. And while I was there, just got, in terms of being a good student and following, and I wanted to get as much education as I could possibly could, and figuring out what it is that I wanted to do in terms of my career. So SUNY Binghamton was very instrumental for me, the teachers there, the professors. And then at SUNY Albany, it's just following up a dream that I have had to continue my literature studies and to have a PhD. But life got in the way, so I decided that to do the community work and raise my children and make a decision that perhaps later when I retire to do that.
And you're doing just an amazing job at Mohonasen, and you're very well known in the community because you're so active. I do want to talk about your efforts. Your efforts in Puerto Rico. You organized 25 suitcases of goods and supplies after the devastation that we saw from Hurricane Maria. And what was involved in doing that and making sure you can actually get the supplies over there?
Well, this is a really interesting story because my friend Lynette Steck, who is here tonight, it was her connections. She had a niece who was stranded in the Dominican Republic, and the airline sent her to New York because they couldn't send her to Puerto Rico. And so the niece contacted Lynette and said, can we come and stay in Schenectady with you, because we don't know what to do. And the niece was with two other friends, youngsters in their 20s. And so when they were there, Lynette found out that the airline, and I don't remember which one was it, the airline said that if they could get together 10 suitcases each, that they will allow them to bring them back, and they were going back to Puerto Rico like in 4 days. So immediately she contacted me, and I said, let's make it happen as much as we can, so in 4 days. And so I contacted my teachers, my members at Mohonasen, and we have 4 schools, and so I brought a suitcase of mine, and I asked people to bring a suitcase and put it in the teacher's lounge and said, can we fill this suitcase, one suitcase, and this is why, and everybody, within 24 hours, we needed more suitcases, and then I have other groups, my tennis buddies, cooking class buddies, and I contacted everyone, and they said, come and pick up this suitcase. We have 2 and 3, and so we were like even at 2 o'clock in the morning picking up suitcases all over the Capital District, and at Lynette's house we put it all together. So by 6 a.m. the 4th day, the kids could go with, we almost made it. We made it to 27 suitcases. 27 suitcases. So we almost made it to 30. So that was our goal in 4 days. So, and we were so pleased with that.
Above and beyond, certainly. And I know I've seen your student travel and exchange program as well, where you're connecting families as well through that program. We want to thank you for those efforts. And I know you have a wonderful family, three daughters, 4 grandchildren. Mm-hmm. You have a beautiful family. I'm so very pleased to have you in our public education system and to be able to be an advocate for our community. Let's give her a big round of applause. I'm so pleased to honor you as one of our 2018 Women of Distinction honorees.
Yes, thank you. And before I go, I wanted to say, Senate Bill 801. Please, we need our Senator Flanagan to bring it to the floor. Okay, we need to unplug, disconnect the standardized testing from our evaluation.
A very important bill that I was proud to sponsor in the State Assembly, and I knew you were behind it, and I know the teachers needed it, and we hope that bill gets passed. It does need to get passed this year.
We appreciate your support and the 55 senators who are also pulling for us. So please, whatever you can do next week to make it happen.
Absolutely. Thank you, Maria. Thank you for fighting for that bill.